Radhika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudeva Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Gokṣaras Babaji Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Mahārāja Ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gaudiya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadasa Raghunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gora Mandala Vaja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Avishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund Ki Jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya Ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishimar Śrīla Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Tadya Shubha Avirbhav Titi Ki Jai. Jai. All the associates of Jagat Guru Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll do a short Mangala Charan and begin. Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindayai Tulsi Devai Priyayai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavatai Namo Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya. Sorry. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranams, Nitai Mukeshji, Chatamai Mataji, and all devotees watching on YouTube and Facebook. I don't see any comments yet, but I see some devotees. Oh, I see Gandharvika, Hare Krishna, and I'm guessing Raseshwari Mataji and Indira Mataji are there. And also pranams to all the devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Jai Dev Prabhu, Ananda Pradayini, Krishna Rose, Vrinda Didi, and everybody else. Hare Krishna. Alright, so today is the auspicious appearance day of Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Srimad Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja. His disappearance day was just a few days ago, and we read the first part of this little booklet that my Srila Gurudeva published. I think it was after his disappearance. He published it in the 80s. What is it called? It's called An Offering of Transcendental Memories of Prapuja Charan Ashtotarashata Shri Srimad Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja. So maybe let's just look through some parts, like some of what we read last time, and then we will read part 2 as well. Okay, 1 second, let me just share my screen. So I'm just going to skip around and not read all of this over again, but okay, let's see. Rasik and Bhavuk Bhakta. I first had the darshan of Pujapad Mahārāja in 1947 when I came to Sri Devananda Gaudiya Math, the main math of Sri Gauriya Vedanta Samiti. Then he was a Naishtika Brahmachari. It was around that time that he established his illustrious math in Kharagpur. He came to perform Sri Dham Navadip Parikrama under the guidance of my Guru Pad Padma, bringing with him some faithful pilgrims from Sri Shyamananda Gaudiya Math, Medinipur. While on the parikrama, Srila Guru Pad Padma would occasionally order him to speak Harikatha, and as he would listen to that Harikatha, Srila Guru Pad Padma would become supremely elated. Pujapad Srimad Janārdana Mahāraja's name at that time was Sri Anantaram Brahmachari. It was from my spending that time in his company that our relationship gradually began to thicken. He was endowed with all the qualities befitting a Vaishnava. His natural disposition was to be sweetly spoken, humble, tolerant, never wanting respect for himself, and always ready to give respect to others. He was well versed in scriptures like Sri Hari Bhakti Vilas, Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Ujjvala Neelamani, Lalita Madhav, Vidagdha Madhav, Stavamala, Stavavali, the Sri Vaishnav Toshini and Sarartha Darshini commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam by Srila Sanatana Goswami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur respectively, and Srila Baladeva Vijibhushan's Govinda Bhashya. And he was firmly established in perfect conclusions, the Siddhanta of Vaishnavism. He was perpetually engaged in speaking Harikatha. Notably, he was a Rasik and Bhavuk Bhakta. As a regulation, he would daily worship Tulsi, behold the Arati, mark his whole body with the name of his worshipful goddess, Srimati Radhika, and lovingly recite stavas and stutis. Okay, I'm just going to read a little bit of this part and then we can move on. We'll read today's article. So, in his Harikatha, I have particularly observed that he was a Sri Rupanuga Vaishnavacharya. On the aforementioned Vyas Puja festival, we read about that last time, but that was when our Param Gurudev ordered his disciples to first worship him, and then to first worship their Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī, even though our Param Gurudev was far senior to him, and then because you should always first worship your own Gurudev. So Gurudev told that whole pastime. So on the aforementioned Vyas Puja festival, daily at the time of Brahma Muhurta, I noticed how he would recite with intense love stavas and stutis like Shri Radhikashtakam, Shri Gandharva Samprartanashtakam, Shri Vishaka Anandada Bhidastotram, Shri Utkantha Dashakam, Shri Chatu Pushpanjali, Shri Karpanya Panjika Stotram, Shri Utkalika Vallari, Shri Radha Kundashtakam, and Shri Govardhanvas Prarthana Dashakam. When I heard him do this, extreme faith in these stavas and stutis arose within me, and from then on, following his footsteps, I began to recite them. By constantly being in pure association in satsanga, my faith in them increasingly developed. I had heard that among Krishna's Ragatmika associates, the gopis are topmost. Among them, some have the same affection. They have samasneha for Radha and Krishna. Some have more affection for Krishna, Krishna snehadika, and others have more affection for Shri Radha, Shri Radha snehadika. Among the Shri Radha snehadika, the gopis headed by Shri Rupa Manjari are foremost, and the Raganuga sadhaks under their guidance are the foremost among sadhaks. I have observed this mood in Pujapad Janārdana Mahārāja. When he would explain the following verses in his Harikatha, his internal exclusive mood of servitude to Shri Radha, his Radha Dasya, would thoroughly manifest. And then he goes through these beautiful verses. Hadevi kaku bharagar kadiyadya vacha, tavai vasmi, asha bharar amrita sindhu maya katanchit, Vajami radam arabindanitram, venu karan nipatitam skalitam shikandam, yat kinkarishu bhausha kalukaku vani, bhaktim na Krishna charane na karomi chartim. Goes through all these verses. And then there's that whole Raganuga, Rupanuga part. I think today we're also going to be reading about his relationship with his cows. I can't remember. I think it's also in this second part. So let's just read this really quick. Almost 15 years ago, at the special request of Pujapad Janārdana Mahārāja, Pujapad Vaman Maharaj and I went to see him at Shri Gaurvani Vinod Ashram. We were all charmed by the way he served Vaishnavas and the example he set by doing so. His darling Kalindi, Ganga, Shamala, and other cows would be standing on the veranda, yearning for his affection. He had so much fondness for them, for his cows. Let's see, I think there's more about that, his relationship with the cows, but I could be wrong. Anyhow, now we're starting today's reading officially. This is an offering of Transcendental Memories, Part 2. All right. Oh, and Haribol, Vidyalala Didi, and Jai Prabhu. Yeah, they're live now. Haribol. Okay. His special affection for me and his extraordinary anurag for Krishna Katha. Whenever he would see me, he would shower me with an affection that had a simple, natural intimacy, lokik sambandhuvat. As much as possible, he did not like dealings that were filled with giving him honor, with maryada. When we would meet each other, he would grab my hands and have me sit on a seat that was the same level as his seat. He wouldn't even hesitate to have me sit on his own bed. Towards the end of his life, he spent some days in Kolkata for treatment. And for those of you who don't know, Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Maharaj is a disciple of Nitya Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Towards the end of his life, he spent some days in Kolkata for treatment. After Sri Dham Navadip Parikrama in 1994, I went to have his darshan with Shriman Banavari Lal Singhania and a few brahmacharis. We all offered prostrated obeisance to him. Immediately upon seeing me, despite the doctor's prohibition and my repeated requests, he got off his bed, offered Dandavat Pranam, took hold of my hand, and made me sit beside him on his bed. Remembering topics of his Aradhya Devi, Srimati Radhika, tears welled in his eyes, and he began to cry. Alas, alas, I've not been able to perform any sadhan bhajan. Seeing his state of bhav, everyone became overwhelmed with emotion, and the ponds of our eyes became filled with tears. Forgetting his illness, he began an Ishtagoshti on the topic of Srimati Radhika's compassion, Karuna. Seeing his extraordinary deep attachment, his anurag to Krishna Katha, we were all stunned. Srimati Radhika, Sri Krishna's topmost beloved. Every year, without fail, he would attend the Sri Dham Navadvip Parikrama conducted by Sri Gauriya Vedanta Samiti, as well as the Samiti's parikramas of Rajmandal, Kshetramandal, Dwarka, South India, and other places. He used to say, "The most worshipable Sri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja has given an invitation to me for all the time, saying, 'You must certainly come for all of our functions.' For this reason, even after my Gurudeva entered Aprakat Leela, every year Pujapad Janārdana Mahārāja would unfailingly participate in Sri Dham Navadvip Parikrama and Rajmandal Parikrama. 1993 was his last Rajmandal Parikrama. When the Parikrama arrived at Sri Paitagram near Govardhan, he spoke about that place. This Paitagram is an extra special place for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Nearby at Chandra Sarovar, when, at the time of Ras, Krishna disappeared, Krishna's beloveds became maddened with feelings of separation from him and searched for him here and there. Some asked the birds and animals of Krishna's whereabouts, and some inquired from the trees and vines. Such Vrajramanis thought themselves to be Krishna, and others thought themselves to be Putana, Shakatasura, Agasura, etc. In this way, they would become maddened in the Anubhav named Leela, in enactment of Krishna's pastimes. At that time, Krishna manifested before them in the form of four-handed Vasudeva. At first, the different gopis who saw this form, while searching for Krishna, offered him pranam, understanding him to be Narayan, and then moved on, taking no notice of him. But as soon as Shri Krishna saw Srimati Radhika, he became incapable of maintaining his Narayan form. Upon seeing her, he appeared before her in his own Sarup, that is, the Sarup of Rajendra Nandan. It was thus proven at this place that among all the Gopa Ramanis, Srimati Radhika is the topmost beloved of Krishna. Yatha Radha Priya Vishnos Tasya Kundam Priyam Tata Sarva Gopishu Saivaika Vishnur Atyanta Vallabha. Just as Srimati Radhika is most dear to Sri Krishna, her pond, Sri Radhakund, is equally dear to him. Among all the beloved gopis, none are as dear as Srimati Radhika. That's stated in the Padma Purana. Upon hearing this deliberation, everyone became charmed. Haribol Anadi Krishna Prabhu. We're reading about Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja for his appearance day today. Defying the resident Radhakund Babajis. When on this parikrama we reached Radhakund, he addressed the resident Sri Radhakund Babajis, saying, "You are all erudite persons. You have given up everything and have become penniless, and you are performing bhajan in Radhakund and Vrindavan. All of you please come and speak with us. Why do you slander and criticize the followers of Srila Saraswati Thakur? Why do you say that saffron-colored cloth, sannyas, and so on are divergent from the bhajan of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas? We Gaudiya Vaishnavas garbed in saffron color humbly desire to discuss this. All of you, please come here and discuss this topic with us." Quoting a verse and the commentary of Brihad Bhagavatamrita 2.7.14, he gave proof of the following. Yat pada pankaja palasha vilasa bhaktya karmashayam gratitam udgratayanti santa Tadvanariktamatayo yatayo piruddha sroto ganastamaranam bhajavasudevam. Srimad Bhagavatam 4:22-39. It says, devotees of Sri Bhagavan, who remain perpetually engaged in serving the toes of his lotus feet, can eliminate with ease the strong knot of yearning to enjoy the fruits of one's prescribed duties. This task cannot be performed by those who are not devoted to him, such as jnanis and yogis, despite their attempts to put an end to the swelling waves of sense enjoyment. You are thus advised to perform bhajan of Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. Kiva vipra kiva nyasi shudra kene noi Jai Krishna tattva veta shei guru hoy. That's Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 8:128. Whether one is a Brahman, a sannyasi, or a Shudra, if he is conversant with transcendental knowledge about Sri Krishna, he can become a guru. He went on to say, the 9 roots of Sriman Mahaprabhu's wish-fulfilling tree of Prem are all sannyasis who wore saffron-colored cloth. Shri Paramananda Puri, Shri Keshav Bharati, Shri Brahmananda Puri, Shri Brahmananda Bharati, Shri Vishnu Puri, Shri Keshav Puri, Shri Krishnananda Puri, Shri Nrsimha Tirtha, and Shri Sukhananda Puri. Shriman Nityananda Prabhu, Sarup Damodar, and others were all sannyasis. Even sannyasis wearing saffron-colored cloth are seen among the Sri Radharaman Goswāmīs, both Goswāmīs in times gone by and also in current times. Please come and speak with us. Please deliberate on this. If we have any fault or defect, please explain it to us. Hearing his loud roaring in this way, not a single Babaji came before him. The approximately 600 to 700 people who were listening to his excellent conclusive statements deeply understood in truth, in essence, that the conceptions of the Saraswat Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the line of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, alone are immaculate and fully and perfectly conclusive. Gopishwar Mahadev awards Krishna Prem. One time, on Sri Vrajmala Parikrama at Nandishwar Parvat in Sri Nandagram, there was an Ishtagoshti on the topic of Shiva Tattva, and it was apparent that devotees held different opinions. In that assembly, I had said that Sri Sadashiv is Vishnu Tattva. His non-different form in Vrindavan is Gopishwar Mahadev. In Govardhan, it is Chakleshwar Mahadev. In Nandagram, it is Nandishwar Mahadev. And in Kamyavan, it is Kameshwar Mahadev. All of these forms of his are completely identical, divine existential reality, Tattva. Srimad Bhagavatam says in reference to Shiva, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, Sri Shiva is the greatest Vaishnav. He is the greatest friend of Sri Sanatana Goswami, who in Hari Bhakti Vilas has even given the process for worshipping him. Even his pranam mantra says, Vrindavana Vanipate Jaya Soma Soma Mole Sanaka Sanandana Sanatana Nara Dedya Gopishwara Vrajavilasi Yugangri Padme Prema Prayacha Nirupadi Namaste. O protector of the land of Vrindavan, O husband of Uma, O Soma Moli, you who carry the moon on your head, O you who are worshipped by Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, and Narad, O Gopishwar, please bestow upon me unconditional prem for the lotus feet of Shri Shri Radha Krishna, who perform loving pastimes in Vraj. Therefore, Gopishwar Mahadev is worshipable for the Vaishnavas. By his merciful blessing, one is able to obtain Vraja Bhakti. Hearing this, a few Vaishnavas present took a contending stance. They said, there is no place in the Sri Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya to worship Shankar. they said. He cannot give Vraja Prem. In that assembly, Pujapad Janārdana Mahārāja quoted the following shloka from Śrīla Raghunath Gosvāmī's Sri Vilas Stava, verse 87. Muda Gopendra Syatmaja. Sorry, what's the meter for this? Okay. Muda Gopendra Syatmaja Bhuja Parishvanga Nidhaye Spurad Gopi Vrindar Yamiha Bhagavantam Pranaibhe Bhajadbhistar Bhaktya Samabhilashitang Praptamachirad Yamitire Gopishvaramanudinam Tankila Bhaje. To obtain the jewel of being embraced by the arms of Vrajendra Nandan Sham Sundar, the gopis who possess firm, loving intimate attachment for Shri Krishna, joyfully worshipped Gopishwar Mahadev, Sadashiv, with great devotion, and had all their internal desires fulfilled without delay. Daily, I worship that Gopishwar Mahadev who resides on the bank of the Yamuna. Well, I'm going to add this into the songbook. All right. In this way, he cleared any confusion on this topic. The Vraj Gopis prayed to Gopishwar Mahadev to obtain Krishna Prem, and that Gopishwar Mahadev awards this Krishna Prem. There is therefore no more room to doubt that Gopishwar Mahadev bestows the cherished objective of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. For this reason, each and every one of us pray to him for his mercy. Both parties were satisfied with his conclusion. The meaning of the word samadhi. One time, Pujapad Janārdana Mahārāja asked my Guru Pad Padma, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj, about the Vaishnav's explanation of the word samadhi. He said, Vaishnavas explain the word samadhi in various ways, but their explanations have not satisfied my mind. Please enlighten me about the meaning of this word. My Guru Pad Padma said, samadhi means to become samadhi, acquainted with the inner desire of one's object of worship, upasya tattva. In this way, saturated in that mood, that bhav, one engages oneself fully in the service to that object of worship. The damsels of Vraj naturally remain in a constant state of samadhi. At the time of their auspicious departure, the transcendental perfected body, the siddha sharir of the Vaishnavas, becomes spiritually the same as that of their object of service, of their Savior, and they fully dedicate themselves in service to their Savior in every way. This is the true meaning of the word samadhi. Upon hearing this answered so concisely, Pujapad Janārdana Mahārāja became extremely delighted. His Nishta and Srila Prabhupada. On the day of Sri Mayapur Parikrama, during Sri Vedanta Samiti's Sri Navadip Dham Parikrama, Pujapad Janārdana Mahārāja would arrive at the samadhi of his most worshipful Nitya Lila Pravishta Srila Prabhupada and extol Srila Prabhupada's glories. As he would do so, his throat would choke up. He had become overwhelmed with emotion and unable to speak further. He could only weep, tears flowing from his eyes. Beholding such bhav and Guru Nishta, the audience would become overwhelmed. In this way, many divine memories of him are appearing in my heart, but I fear increasing the length of this essay. I therefore offer hundreds and hundreds of flowers from my heart at his divine feet. My only prayer at his lotus feet is that he cleanse my hundreds and hundreds of faults, shortcomings, and offenses, and thus count me among the recipients of his mercy. Praying for a particle of mercy from Shri Guru and the Vaishnavas, Tridandi Bhikshu, Shri Bhakti Vedanta Narayan. translated by Rays of the Harmonist team from the Viraha Smarak Prakashana. Let's see if Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami spoke anything about Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Goswami Maharaj. Yes. Okay, let's read this. Yeah, okay, we're going to read this by Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj. He spoke this on November 28th. Sorry, no, he spoke this on December 7th, 2016. One second, it's not showing up nicely. Or is it big enough? Anyways, sorry. It's not letting me make it much bigger. Yeah, I'm just going to copy it onto a Word document, and then you could all read it with me more easily. One second. Now I can change the text size, make it 18. Balaram U, I'll make it a green. Okay, there. Alright. So today is the Avirbhav Tithi of my Shiksha Guru, Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Goswami Maharaj. The Avirbhav and Tirobhav Tithis of Vaishnavas are both equally worshipable. From external vision, he performed the pastime of appearing in the district of Ganjam in Orissa. He would speak very sweetly. I had his first darshan at Sri Shamananda Gaudiya Math, Medinipur. His sweetness. Later, he established a mat in Kharagpur at Srivaspalli. In a village nearby, he also had a Goshala. He used to speak a lot of pastimes of Radha and Krishna from the Puranas. He spoke very slowly and sweetly. He'd participate in Navadip Parikrama, and after the Parikrama, he used to stay in Navadip itself. He would hold a grand festival on Radhashtami, and he would repeatedly chant Radhe, Radhe. Towards the end of his manifest pastimes, he awarded sannyas to Srila Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj and ordered him to become the successor of his mat. Srila Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj would also speak very sweetly. The speciality of Ganjam. In Orissa, Ganjam is famous for Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas from this place visit Jagannath Puri throughout the year. Wherever these Vaishnavas go for pilgrimage, they first have darshan of Jagannath Dev, and upon returning from pilgrimage, they again take darshan of Jagannath Dev. This is a standard practice. People of Ganjam do not consume rice from any other place. This type of rice is called Kanija rice, and it is their speciality. It's their specialty. First, they stuff the rice crop underneath the earth. And after 1 year has elapsed, they extract that stored rice crop and use the rice which is called Kani Kachawal. Some of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, such as Shishimad Bhakti Gaura Vaikanas Goswami Maharaj, Ananda Leela Mai Vigraha Prabhu, and Shishimad Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj, came from that place. Among the people of Orissa, those from Cuttack are addressed as atheists. When there was a tsunami in Orissa, everything was destroyed by the flood, so much so that not even traces of the houses remained. That tsunami wrecked all 4 directions surrounding Puri and created much havoc. However, Puri itself remained unaffected. Nothing happened in Ganjam as well, despite being near the ocean. People from Cuttack and nearby places came to Puri to take shelter. Hence, it is observed from this instance that Jagannath Sevaks are always protected by Jagannath Dev. Radhe Radhe till the last breath. During the first Tirobhav festival of Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja in Kharagpur, the organizers had distributed a tumbler to everyone who participated in the festival with his name engraved upon it. I still have that tumbler I received. What is a tumbler? Tumbler is a tall glass for drinking out. A tall glass for drinking out of with straight sides and no handle. Okay, the drinking glass. Cool. I still have that tumbler I received. Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja did not perform sickness pastimes much. He would always chant, Radhe, 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 and uttering like this, he left his body. The benefit of remembering Vaishnavas. So what is the benefit of remembering Vaishnavas? Through their remembrance, our most formidable anarthas in the form of Kanak, Kamini, and Pratishta are dispelled. My Param Gurudeva referred to Pratishta as Bhagini, or a tigress. As a tigress swallows our devotion. Pratishta cannot be traced externally. It is situated deep within. Kanaka Kamini, Pratishta Bhagini, Chari Ache Jare, Sheto Vaishnav. One is truly a Vaishnav who has given up the habit of falling victim to the ferocious tigress of wealth, beauty, and fame. Everything can be utilized. Srila Narottam Das Thakur mentioned in one kirtan, in Prem Bhakti Chandrika, Kama Krishna Kamarpane Krodha Bhakta Dveshi Jane Lobha Sadhu Sangha Harikata Moha Ishta Labdha Bhine Madha Krishna Guna Gane Niyukta Koribo Jata Tata. He says, I will use lust in the service of Krishna, anger against those who are inimical towards the devotees, and greed for associating with sadhus and hearing Krishna Katha. I will become bewildered only when I cannot attain my worshipable Lord. Madness will manifest when I intensely glorify the divine qualities of Krishna. In this way, I will utilize all these. Srila Narottam Das Thakur saw no use for Matsarya in his bhajan. All of the five enemies are contained within Matsarya: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, and Mada. Matsarya includes all varieties of pride. Hence, Param Gurudev said, Pratishta Bhagini Chariyache Jare Sheto Vaishnav. The one whom this tigress in the form of Pratishta has left is a Vaishnav. So all the other things, anger, like desire, lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, all these things can be dovetailed or used for Krishna. But this Matsarya, this envy, has no place at all. So that's why he mentions this quality. He doesn't mention that person has given up anger, that person has given up greed, or any of these other. No, he says Pratishta. Because Pratishta is connected with Matsarya, right? When we envy someone, we start to compare ourselves to them, and we think, I'm better. And Pratishta, wanting to be renowned and wanting to show that I'm better than everybody. So they're connected. So he was a Nirmatsar Sadhu. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam 1:1-2 itself, that second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, Nirmatsaranam Satam Vedyam. Only Nirmatsara Sadhus, those who are 100% pure by heart, can understand the Srimad Bhagavatam. It cannot be understood by those who merely accept a dress of a sadhu. Matsarya refers to those who are incapable of witnessing the progress of others, those who feel happy upon seeing the misery of others, and miserable upon seeing their happiness. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in Amar Jivan, Para Sukha Dukhi, Para Dukha Sukha Koro. He says that I'm happy on others' distress, and I feel distress when I see others are happy. So, only those who do not possess Matsarya are capable of understanding the Srimad Bhagavatam. Similarly, it was observed that Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja was a Nirmatsar sadhu. Prerequisite for Hari Bhajan. Today is his Avirbhav Titi, so we will pray for his mercy so that we will become Nirmatsar like him and perform Hari Bhajan. Unless we become Nirmatsar, Hari Bhajan is not possible, and this is not possible without the mercy of the Vaishnavas. That is the reason why Srila Raghunath Das Goswami has said in Srimana Shiksha, Shloka 7, Pratishta Shadrishta Swapacharamani me hridi natit Kathang sadhu prema Spirshati suchire tan anumana Sada tvam sevasva Prabhudaita samantamatulam Yatatam nishkasya Taritamihatan veshayati sa. Why is it that deceit still lingers in the heart despite one's having given up all material sense enjoyment? This verse has been composed in order to answer this question. O mind, how can pure love, pure divine love, appear in my heart as long as the shameless dog-eating outcast woman of the desire for prestige is audaciously dancing there? Therefore, always remember and serve the immeasurably powerful commanders of the army of Sri Krishna, the beloved devotees of the Lord. They will at once banish this outcast woman and initiate the flow of immaculate Vraj Prem in your heart. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami pleads, the Chandalini in the form of Pratishta is dancing in my heart. So how can I contact that divine love? What is the remedy? Sadatam sevasya prabhudaita samantam atulam. You must forever take shelter of the beloved devotees of the Lord, who are incomparable, who are atulam. They are the incomparable commanders in the army of Sri Krishna, and are immeasurably powerful. They will drive away the shameless outcast woman in the form of Pratishta, and make a place for Prem to reside in the heart. We had no darshan of Srila Prabhupada, but by having darshan of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, we can estimate how incomparably influential and powerful Srila Prabhupada was. So, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami mentioned, Prabhudaita samantam atulam. Call out to the incomparably powerful commanders, the beloved devotees of the Lord, for they will prevent everything, all the impediments. Bemoaning alone will achieve nothing. Only following the conduct of always remembering and serving those powerful Vaishnavas and acting accordingly, one will be freed from impediments like Kanaka, Kamini, and Pratishta. Beg for unalloyed devotion. Today is his Avirbhav Titi. On Avirbhav Titis, people give charity and perform pious deeds. Everyone, including the parents, offer charity on their children's birthdays. So do great personalities. By approaching these great personalities, we will receive mercy because they will offer charity on their Avirbhav Titi. So what will we beg from them? May I possess unalloyed devotion unto Bhagavan. Only they can banish this prostitute of desire for name and fame from our hearts and make place for divine love to reside there. Then only will Hari Bhajan be possible. Jai Jai Śrīla Nityalila Pravishya Shishimad Śrīla Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. Jai Śrīla Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. Alright, so we will end here. I'll sing a short Mahamantra, and that will be our program for today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Shri Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Jai Swapashad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupada Shuttara Shutta Shishmarchala Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai, Tadiya Shubha Avirbhav Titi Ki Jai, Jai Shri all the associates of Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Jai all the followers and disciples of those associates Ki Jai, Jai Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pratadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Nitai Mukesh. It says, Roy, is that my dad? I've never seen you on Zoom before. Well, if it is my dad, then Dandavat Pranams for Shabdev Prabhu, my father, Chatamai Mataji, and Gandharvika, Vidya Lalasa Didi, Jaydev Prabhu, Rasa Priya Didi. And if mom is there, then Pranams Mom. And also all the devotees, and there are other devotees there, but I only see the names of devotees who wrote comments. I'm guessing Indira Mataji and Raseshwari Mataji are there. Also pranams to all the devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, and Ananda Pradayani, Krishna Rose, Vrinda Didi, and everybody else. Hare Krishna. Alright, so tomorrow we will read, I don't know what. Let me just look at the calendar really quickly. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow is the appearance day of Srila Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj. Okay, I know what we're reading tomorrow. We'll read an article by Srila Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj. And especially my god brothers and god sisters, we all have extra special appreciation of Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj because he was the one who traveled to our Srila Gurudev's village in Buxar and spoke Hari Katha and attracted my Srila Gurudev to our Saraswat line. And then my Gurudev came in contact, then my Gurudev started writing letters to our Param Gurudev, and that's how his whole spiritual journey, in his pastimes, that's how he came. So, we can read an article about him. We'll see if there's any katha about him. Maybe Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj. I don't know. We'll look. I'll try to find something. So, alright. See you all tomorrow for that. And Jai Shri Radhe. Hari Bol. Was there anything anybody wants to mention before I end this stream for today? Alright. See you tomorrow. Hari Bol.